Hello and welcome to Tuesday Newsday, your number one resource for the entire week's worth of VR news. By the way, this is the last time you'll see this holiday intro. Also, I wanted to say a quick congratulations and welcome to anyone that got a VR headset for the first time this Christmas. And just a quick plug in case you're looking for an awesome VR community to join up with meetups and events and giveaways and just cool people, join up in my Discord at discord.gg/thrill for just that. But between a questionable batch of Quest 2s that may suffer from serious manufacturing issues that you probably should know about in case yours is affected, and a ton more, we've got a lot to cover this week. But first, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Ridge Wallet, keeping this channel, Raid Shadow Legends, free since 2019, and with a product that I actually love. This is Ridge Wallet, a super sleek, all-metal construction wallet that comes in tons of colors, comes with a lifetime warranty, and will hold up to 12 cards, and comes with a money clip. Ridge Wallet also has built-in RFID blocking technology to keep your credit card information safe, and it just looks and feels nice. Use discount code THRILL to get 10% off your order and join Ridge. But now, let's just get right into the news. I think it's to no one's surprise that Half-Life Alyx has been given award after award. From just about every vendor, the game has received either Game of the Year or, at the very least, VR Game of the Year. Whether the AIXR VR Awards, the Game Awards, Upload VR, Half-Life Alyx, and Valve just keep stacking it up. Which, if you've been watching VR games in 2020, it makes sense. Nothing has released this year that quite stacks up. Plus, the effects on the entire VR industry from Alyx's release is immeasurable. But another huge accolade has been given to the game. Half-Life Alyx is now the highest rated and most reviewed VR-only game on Steam, passing Beat Saber a couple weeks ago, amassing more than 48,000 reviews, which is insane for a VR game. You can see here by this graph just how much the monthly connected headsets graph shot up from one game's release, and for the most part has stayed there or even gone up from there. And I think this is a testament to the idea that VR just needs more good software. We have standardized, somewhat affordable hardware, we just need good games to back it up. So I've talked about the Facebook requirements for Oculus headsets many times before. But there's one more thing I want to bring up regarding this, and this is information that I'm sure will shock people in the future or was a rude awakening to others on Christmas morning while setting up a bunch of fresh new Quest 2s. I've seen videos on Twitter of a bunch of kids excitedly opening Quest 2s, and I've actually experienced this for myself, gifting a Quest to a younger sibling. And the issue revolves around the age requirement on Facebook. You must be at least 13 years old to make a Facebook account. So what if two kids get a Quest 2? One is 12 and one is 14. Well, while the 14-year-old could just make a legit Facebook account, the younger one would either have to use a parent's account or make one and put in a fake age. This only becomes an issue if Facebook finds out though, which could be really bad. Using falsified information such as age to skirt around TOS could very well result in the account being disabled or banned, which would mean you'd completely lose access to all of the content bought on the headset, and likely for good. I mean, making headsets on the behalf of someone under 13 is also against the rules, and this is for good reason. COPPA, or the Child Online Privacy Protection Act, is a good thing that protects kids, and part of that is requiring at least 13 years of age to use these services. But I understand it can result in some frustration. I do warn you though, if Facebook finds out you're under 13 and you're reported, you'll likely lose access to your account, so be careful out there. But sticking with Facebook and the Quest 2 for a moment, there has been quite a grumbling since the Quest 2's launch over some manufacturing issues. Of course, we all know about the Elite strap and the issues it had, which seems to be mostly fixed by now, but during the same time, actual headsets themselves may have had issues as well. I've heard of a few things like overactive or non-functioning cooling fans, but this next issue seems to be a little wider spread, although I'm not sure at all how many headsets are actually affected. This first came up when I was sent a ton of Reddit threads detailing a possible manufacturing defect with a string of Quest 2s. Now, there's no way to tell how widespread this actually is. It could only be a specific line of headsets from a bad week of manufacturing, or it could be even less, and worst case scenario, it's going to turn into a huge problem. I bring this up as a kind of important PSA. Lots of new people are getting into VR for the first time with this headset, and right around this time. This defect in particular makes God rays extremely bad bad on the Quest 2, can make one or both lenses really blurry, and make VR just unpleasant. If you don't know what God rays are, they're the rays or glare that come through the lenses on highly contrasting scenes. I didn't really think much of the situation. Then I remembered back at a slew of comments from people saying that their clarity on the Quest 2 was terrible and that God rays were awful. Now, I have personally received one headset from Oculus and I've bought 2 other ones, and this wasn't at all the experience I had with any of them, so I figured that the commenters may have just had their headset set up incorrectly and they'll learn. But all of these comments and these people on Reddit and another YouTuber that hasn't received a good set of lenses until their 4th headset may have been experiencing a serious lens manufacturer issue. And it doesn't seem that the newly manufactured headsets have this issue, but I'm sure that there are plenty of people that received a Quest 2 on Christmas that has been sitting up on a shelf for a month or 2 in anticipation. Seems Redditor Jake Affer and a few others have noticed small differences in lenses from units bought directly from Oculus and units bought from retailers like Target, but it seems that the only real indicator of a possibly bad set of lenses is by just wearing the headset. Assuming you have it set up correctly, the God rays should not be extremely bad, and the headset should be pretty clear. If you are getting a very uncomfortable viewing experience, I'd highly recommend contacting Oculus and getting a replacement. Everyone that has had these issues through Reddit, forums, and YouTube have returned their headsets and have received much better units. It would suck for a brand new VR user to put on a Quest 2 that has a manufacturing defect and they just think that this is what VR looks like, when in reality, virtual reality is supposed to look a lot better. So if you or a friend has had these issues, or you think you may have the God ray lens defect, send them this video and I'll put a ton of resources and conversations about it in the description. People have been picking apart which manufacturer dates seem to be good or bad, or other identifying features of bad lenses. This whole situation is really interesting and sucks to be honest, but I just want people to have the best experience possible. It seems that the September manufacturer dates are affected the most, but the best way to know is to just put on your headset. If it looks terrible, then get a replacement. It's free. Then yell at the Facebook login screen for a few minutes and it might make you feel better. But now it's time for a meme break! So eBay can sometimes be sketchy. Some people are selling RTX 3090s, or more accurately, a picture of a 3090 for full price, but I'm sure you know Amazon can be sketchy too. Just look at this listing for a Velcro strap cable management. Everything is just so wrong. The photoshopped on headset, the specs, and oh god, the controllers. Look, I've seen Claw Grip, I've seen Southpaw, I've seen a lot, but this, you know, the controllers track better with the ring up, right? Stay vigilant. But let's get right back to the news. Microsoft Flight Simulator is finally released for VR. Now, back when MSF first released a few months ago, I tried it on flat screen at 1440p with a 2080 Ti, and the performance was awful. I kind of wondered how the game would even run with VR support at all, and it turns out, yeah, it has issues. I haven't been home to test it, but this article header from Upload VR pretty much sums it up. Quote, "The good news, Microsoft Flight Simulator VR support arrived today. Now the bad news, it's running really poorly for pretty much everyone." End quote. One user with an RTX 3080 and an Index reported a stuttery 45 FPS. I mean, I guess that's better than VR chat sometimes, but still pretty awful. There are also weird jittering and reprojection bugs and some odd rendering techniques going on, but I have seen from a few that the game is playable to an extent, assuming you have some beefy hardware and you don't get motion sick easy. I'm sure this will get better over time, but it still sucks for the time being. Historically, Microsoft Flight Simulator has always been a pain to run for the hardware it released alongside of, but this performance is really unacceptable. Hopefully, the software becomes better optimized, rather than the alternative of having to just wait for better hardware. I recently came across some news from VR Scout and I was a little shocked. Title is, quote, "Quantar brings fast-paced third-person melee to VR in 2021." End quote. Now, if you're like me, third person and VR doesn't exactly rustle my jimmies usually. And looking at the game footage, I'm not particularly impressed either. So this is more of a funny bit. Watching the gameplay, it seems to be a third person melee based game similar to something like Super Smash Bros. With the added gimmick of using a VR headset rather than a flat screen to play the game. Now, I'm all down for a Smash Bros. In VR. It sounds like a blast, but I don't think this is it, Chief. And now you might ask why I say gimmick, and that's because from what what I've seen, VR doesn't seem necessary or innovative here in this application. We put up with the discomfort of wearing a VR headset, on our faces and heads because the games offer something that you just can't get anywhere else. Boneworks just wouldn't work as a flat screen game. It needs VR, so I wear a headset for it. A game like this though, unless I'm missing something, does not need VR, and it's a gimmicky implementation in my opinion. But then I saw a sponsored tag on the article and it all makes a little more sense. You know what though? Get that bread. And good luck to the developers. Who knows, maybe this game is the next big thing and I could end up loving it. Guess we'll have to find out. At least the development path is promising, coming to Kickstarter in March 2021. Well, now it's time for question of the week from Bomis. How hype would I be for an Overwatch VR? Well, I've made it no secret that I'm a huge Overwatch fan, and it's my favorite flat screen multiplayer game by a large margin. I think that if done correctly, an Overwatch style game would be extremely engaging in VR, but it would have to be done correctly. And I don't know if I trust any developer at the moment to make a super clean yet really deep system of heroes and abilities that would actually utilize VR to its fullest extent. Imagine, for example, Genji. Instead of pressing a button to throw shurikens, you actually throw shurikens. To pull out your ult, you pull a blade from behind your back and dragon blade it up. It's a dream, but a far-off one. Would it work well? Absolutely. Could it fail miserably if a developer half-asses it or doesn't actually use the full potential of VR? Also, absolutely. And that's question of the week. Make sure to leave your own in the comment section below. I may just answer yours next. You should definitely come by my Twitch stream today, and like I said earlier, if you want a really awesome VR community to hang out with, come on in and join my Discord server. I want to thank all of my Patreon supporters, especially my Omegas like Zeal, Furtrap, Lucas Risotto, CPCJ79, Chaotic, Dented Melon, KR, That Brock Guy, HCG Randon, Benji, Ronzarelli, Biz, Fusion Oak, Very Evil Shadow, and Debonair Fab. I couldn't do any of this without you. Don't forget to like this video if you loved it, subscribe if you want more of this, and hit that freaking bell if you just can't live without it. Much love, Thrill out.